IT personnel spend a great deal of time dealing with electrical devices. Therefore, electrical safety should be stressed in all procedures. In this section, we'll look at key issues involved with electrical safety relevant to preventing injuries and for preventing damage to computer equipment. Grounding. Grounding is the electrical term for providing a path for an electrical charge to follow to return to earth. To prevent injury to yourself when working with equipment, you should ensure that you are grounded. To avoid damaging the equipment with which you are working, it should also be grounded. You can provide grounding to yourself or the equipment with either a grounding strap or a grounding mat. Either of these should be plugged into the ground of an electrical outlet. The way in which these devices are connected to ground is pictured in figure 20.8. ESD, electrostatic discharge, is a technical term for what happens whenever two objects of dissimilar charge come in contact. ESD is generated easily by walking across a carpeted floor, while the amount of ESD generated doing that may shock you if you touch the doorknob. It's really not enough to harm you. However, even that small amount is enough to seriously damage sensitive parts of computers. This is exactly why we ground both ourselves and the equipment to prevent ESD damage. Always use mats and straps to prevent damage when working with computer equipment. Static. When ESD is created, it's a form of static energy. Extremely dry conditions in the area where computers are utilized make the problem for static electricity worse. This is why the humidity of the area must be controlled so that it's not too humid, which causes corrosion of electrical connections. Not too dry, which causes static build-up and potential for damage. Installation safety. While protecting yourself from electrical injury, it's very important. It's not the only safety issue you've got to take into consideration. Other types of injuries can also occur, ranging from simple pulled muscle to a more serious incident requiring a trip to the hospital. The following issues relate to installing equipment should also be taken into consideration. Lifting equipment. Often when a piece of equipment is being installed, the time pressures involved and rush to get her done can lead to improper lifting. Always keep in mind these safe lifting techniques. Be careful not to twist when lifting. Keep the weight at the center of your body and keep objects as close to your body as possible at waist level. Lift with your legs, not your back. When you have to pick something up, bend the knees, not the waist. You want to maintain the natural curve of the back and spine when lifting. Whenever possible, push instead of pull. Rack installation. Even for small businesses, it's bad business to operate computing equipment in a poor environment such as on a shelf. There is a reason so many devices come rack ready. Racks not only make for a neat and clean server room or closet, but when combined with proper cable management and environmental control, they provide an environment that allows the devices to breathe and stay cool. When installing racks, always follow the manufacturer's directions and always use the correct tools. Countless screws have been ruined using the wrong tool. Server racks are measured in terms of rack units, usually written as RU or simply U. Our rack unit equals 1.75 inches, 44.45 millimeter in height, with compliant equipment measured in multiples of U. Network switches are generally 1U or 2U servers can range from 1U to 4U, and blade servers can be anywhere from 5U to 10U or more. The most important issue when placing devices is to ensure proper cooling and proper protection from moisture. It's a good idea to align the racks and install your equipment in hot and cold aisles. The goal of a hot aisle cold aisle configuration is to conserve energy and lower cooling costs by managing airflow. Hot aisle cold aisle design involves lining up racks in alternating rows with cold air intakes facing one way and hot air exhausts facing the other. The rows composed of rack fronts are called cold aisles. Typically, cold aisles face air conditioner output ducts. The rows the heated exhausts pour into are called hot aisles and face air conditioner return ducts. Moreover, all of the racks and the equipment they hold should never be on the floor. They should be a raised floor to provide protection against water. Tool safety. It's worth mentioning again that the first step on safely using tools is to make sure you're properly grounded. Besides practicing tool safety for your own welfare, you should also do so to protect the equipment. Here are some specific guidelines to follow. Avoid using pencils inside a computer. They can become a conductor and cause damage. Be sure that the tools you are using have not been magnetized. Magnetic fields can be harmful to data stored on magnetic data. When using compressed air to clean inside the computer, blow the air around the components with a minimum distance of 4 inches 10 centimeters from the nozzle. Clean the contacts on the components with isopropyl alcohol. Do not use rubbing alcohol. Never use a standard vacuum cleaner inside a computer case. The plastic parts of a vacuum cleaner can build up static electricity and discharge to the components. Use only vacuums that are approved for electronic components. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Thank you.